Hey YouTube, we are doing a Beyond the Hype on Bellibolt, which is the #1 ranked Pokemon in the Ultra League, and I will go on the record right now. I think Parabolic Charge will get nerfed next season. There is no way they are going to allow this Pokemon in the Ultra League and Dedenne in the Great League to continue at the absolute crazy pace that these things have to get to this move and boost their defense that you can just kind of plow through teams when you are 2-3 times buffed. So for those of you who weren't here before the Omnis Wind got nerfed, Omnis Wind in especially the Master League with Giratina, when you got that Omnis Wind and you double buffed your defense and I think attack, I think it was like double buff both. It was just you ran through teams, and it's basically the same thing. You double buff your defense with 2 Parabolic Charges. You're now 2 times boosted defense. Parabolic Charge in itself is a good move, right? So if you go to like the move sets here, it's 40 for 70, 45 for 70. Again, not amazing, 1.55, but look what it's on par with. Crunch, Torch Song, Disarming Voice, Nightshade, a lot of nice 1.55 damage per energy moves here. And again, just the difference is the 100% chance of buffing your defense, and that thing can really get out of control real fast. So yeah, I think it's extremely strong. You're going to see in the matchups here, Bellibolt for Alligator, Talonflame. You're going to have problems with stuff that was either resist dark or resist electric. I mostly covered for the stuff that is going to beat electric and resist electric, so the ground, which is why I have a water Pokemon and I have a flying Pokemon. So that is the thought process behind the team. But basically I have Bellibolt on the lead, and you're just going to see it. I shield up the first moves most of the time. I throw that Parabolic Charge and I go through it. I guess one thing I should also mention about Bellibolts, because I did have an opponent run Thundershock, I think by mistake. What makes Parabolic Charge so strong in of itself is that yes, it's a move that chip, and yes, it boosts your defense, but when you run it with Sucker Punch, that is what really adds a lot of pressure to your opponents, right? So Sucker Punch in itself is a fantastic charge move, one of the best, like, I think, fast and damage move combos in the game. So I already got 2 Parabolic Charges off. Here comes a third one, and now I'm 3 times boosted. They are only running Thundershock, so they don't even have Sucker Punch to hit me for neutral, so they only have resisted moves. And as you can see, a 3 times buff defense, now about to be 4, does not need to worry about any of these resisted moves coming in. So the Sucker Punches, this is why you need to run Sucker Punch, because Sucker Punch in itself is a great move. Yes, they're out spamming me to these Parabolic Charges, but as you can see, these moves are really adding up. I was debating whether I can get to Zap Cannon or not. Zap Cannon is pretty slow to get to, as you can see on the counts there, 24 and 22. That is pretty slow to get to these moves, but I think 95% of the time you're just going Parabolic Charge anyways, and get to the super farm down, 1 HP left. Bellibolt, what makes it even scarier is that it is actually a pretty strong, like a bulky Pokemon. So when you're already bulking up your bulk, it really gets out of control. So I grabbed both shields. I've already chipped the Feraligatr to the yellow. Now I will match this here. So took out 1 Pokemon, grabbed both shields, took the Feraligatr to the yellow. We'll take this out here, and I'll have half a Feraligatr and a full health Talonflame to deal with the Florges, which is essentially a top left for my opponent because there's not much they can do here. Bellibolting into Giratina. So I only have resisted electric moves on the Dragon, but I have a super effective Sucker Punch. And again, this is why it can be very deadly. Sucker Punch in neutral to super effective situations is great. Yes, Parabolic Charge is resisted there. Who cares, really? So you're still going to chip with a Parabolic Charge. They eventually get into Swampert. This is one where, yeah, you kind of have to go. So this is why you cover ground weakness, because ground just resisting your charge moves makes no sense for you to stay in that matchup, and ground hitting super effective against electric makes no sense for you to stay in that matchup. So that is why I think if you're going to run any Pokemon weak to Bellibolts in the Ultra League, you pair it with 1 or 2 grounds. You can offset with like a water ground here. You can offset with like a steel ground if you want to resist grass. So you can just kind of balance it out. Make sure that you have an answer to this thing, because I would expect to see it on multiple teams. You can see my IVs, 10, 11, 11. Not great IVs. No XLs required with 10, 11, 11. And it did not seem like I missed anything. So they make a nice catch on their Giratina to take that Hydro Cannon, but I'm pretty spammy, so if they're going to want to take me out, they're going to have to do it here. I just come in and farm the Sucker Punches here. Again, in of itself, this Pokemon is pretty bulky. I have 2 moves. I have a Zap Cannon too, so I forgot how much energy, how much health the Swampert has. So I'm just throwing the Zap Cannon basically blind. So that lands, takes out what's in the back. Charizard will be able to take me down, but I have a Talonflame and a Feraligatr left, and the Talonflame will resist the Blast Burn, and we'll have a not super effective, but a neutral Brave Bird to take out the Charizard here for the win. So yeah, it's really just Bellibolt on the lead. If you see a ground, you leave into your safe swap. If you don't see it, you stay in this matchup. However, Hippowdon is a ground, so I will immediately get out into my Feraligatr as a safe swap. They are not out of here, so we'll get off a Hydro Cannon. I think if I remember, they let this go. Yeah, they do let it go, and it takes them to the deep red. I have no idea. I have no idea what these moves are. It is a Scorching Sand, so I do shield that up because I'm like, I honestly do not know what this Pokemon has. But if you're staying in long enough to take a move, you probably have a hard-hitting move. So get off a Hydro on the Drapion. Of course, Drapion with the Crunch nerf doesn't really matter too much. You still spam at 10 here, which means that this thing is still very deadly in the Ultra League and the Great League, in my opinion. You should be seeing a healthy dose of it next time the Great League comes around, because I still think it's a pretty good safe swap. So they do take me down, and I assume I'll just eat this on Nope, Talonflame. Interesting. I'm surprised I didn't eat it on Bellibolt, because Bellibolt in itself is very tanky, and Talonflame is not. And I'm lucky that they're just throwing crunches instead of Aqua Tails, but I'm really surprised I'm taking these crunches. Like, that just basically takes out Talonflame. Giratina in the back. Hippowdon, I'm going to commit to the full farm down, and now I'm going to commit to just boosting my defense through this. So here comes the first Parabolic Charge, and again, it's resisted, but between the resisted Parabolic Charges and super effective Sucker Punches, this thing is just adding up. So now it's in the yellow. Usually I would just say at this point, just commit to the farm down, but not when your other option is to boost your defense. So yes, you just basically, they're going to show this no matter what, but you want to just boost your defense. And I believe this one has Shadow Force. So how much does a Shadow Force do to a very boosted Bellibolt? And the answer is almost nothing. That was maybe a quarter damage out there, which is why I think this Pokemon is going to be gone, like changed soon. Okay. We have a Pangoro, and a Pangoro that it looks like it is running Snarl. So very fast charging Pokemon, and resisting the double resisting the Sucker Punches, because they have a Fighter and a Dark. So that is double resisting the Sucker Punches, which is why I grab one shield and then get out of that. You're going to see 2 or 3 mistakes here. I was just like not paying attention. You can see the spinning. The spinning killed me. I'm already at 100 energy, so that extra Incinerate is just wasted energy. Wasted not getting energy. Fly does go. I'm at another one here, which is fine. I believe I take this out here, but you're going to see I get to a Fly and Brave Bird on the next one, but I do not get the move off, and I lose the matchup. So it's just like this, like they throw a Night Slash. I live this. And I have a move. I pressed the move. Okay, was it this one? It was another one. Maybe it was against another Tentacruel, where I had like a Fly or Brave Bird and I did not throw it. So, mix of playing on the bus and not fully paying attention. Pangoro does throw the close combat. I do shield. That thing is very spammy, and is a Lapras in the back. So I will spam these Hydros. It's kind of an evenish matchup. At least it is in the Great League. I'm not positive what it is in the Ultra League here. But these Claws and Sideways basically kind of do the same amount of damage. And then you have resisted Sparkling Aria and resisted Hydro Cannon. So take this to the yellow. Throw it another one here. So this, if it doesn't take out, it's going to be a couple HP left. They're going to have to get off a couple moves here. Because one Sparkling Aria will not take out. So here comes the first one. I'm going to Claw down unless they do the throw. So they do throw, which means I can come Sucker Punch. And smart on them, just instant swap. Now, can I live a close combat from just over 50% from a very bulky Pokemon? I can. And I do get to the Parabolic Charge. And this is why this Pokemon's actually like very scary in general, because it's got some good bulk. Its limitation, oh yeah, I lose because of the Psywave versus, yeah. I still lost this matchup because the Incinerate is a 5-turn move, Psywave is a 1-turn move, so I lose that. But that's what makes this Pokemon very scary, is that it is already, unlike Dedenne, which is like, yeah, you can boost your attack, but you're still pretty glassy. Like, the couple boosts help, for sure, but you're still generally a pretty glassier Pokemon. But this thing's not glassy whatsoever. This thing is very bulky. So when you're already bulky and you boost your attack with a Sucker Punch Parabolic Charge, not surprising, things can get out of hand pretty quick. So take out the Scaldirge. Out comes a Golisopod. They are 2 Pokemon that are weak to electric. They let that one go. I know I can live 1, and I know they have... Yeah, I know they have a Hydro Cannon user, so I assume I just let that go. This will likely grab a shield because it will be super effective, and they have 2 Pokemon left and very low health on the other one, so they shield. They're not going to claw down here, that's for sure. But I took a Scaldirge. I took out half a Golisopod. I took out a bit of Feraligatr, and I have Switch Advantage. And yes, they're double weak to electric there, and one was weak to dark, so it's kind of a skewed look how strong this Pokemon is when I had an answer to every single one of their Pokemon. But it feels like Dedenne does in the Great League, whereas if you don't have a ground Pokemon to answer it, it feels like you're going to be in trouble. So Moltres, weird one here. My Sucker Punch resisted, Parabolic Charge super effective. Their Sucker Punch neutral, but flying moves resisted. They make the catch on the Fortress. So I will obviously just stay in this matchup, having boosted my attack. They are running Volt Switch Fortress, not even Bug Bite. So opting to either go with either just forgetting to change, that's one option, or just feeling that it may be better in the Ultra League with Volt Switch, getting to these moves faster, and that does come into play here. Whereas maybe just expecting a slower speed and they get to a second Rock Tomb. Probably not smartest to take this Rock Tomb, but obviously does not do a ton. Let's see what they come in with. Oh yeah, it is a Slow King. I should have... Yeah, I remember this. I'm 2 times lowered. Because I let that second Rock Tomb go, my attack is 2 times lower. So yes, my defense is now 3, maybe 4 times boosted here. My attack is still 2 times lowered, so what could have probably put this in the red, if not lower. But look how much I lived that, and I get to another move because of it. Yeah, right? Like, so I think this is where it gets like tricky, and you need to make a decision based on... I still take this thing. I still took this thing down to 1 HP after taking out their other Pokemon. But this is where it's going to come down to your best sort of guess. I do lose these matchups because I lost shields, and this thing is loaded and has 2 shields, but that's so be it. And this is where you need to make decisions. When you boost 2 times and 3 times plus, and same thing, when you nerf yourself 2 times and 3 times, all logic says get out of the nerfs and stay in with the buffs. So if you have like a Scizor that has a Night Slash double boost, or if you boost your defense here twice, all logic says you're pretty much shielding everything and trying to run your way through with that advantage. Where it gets offset is you boost your defense times 2, and then they lower your attack times 2. So I stayed in that matchup, was still almost like they had 1 HP left on the Weezing. But I do not know if that's the right play, or you just bank that energy and then get in a better matchup neutrally, and then allow yourself to focus on like taking that neutral matchup and then getting back in and then rebuffing your defense like I did, like I'm going to do here. Start rebuffing the defense the second time around. And again with the Giratina, I'm just going to stay in this matchup as long as I can because I need to try to get this within fly range. But down to shield and Giratina so spammy and Talonflame Incinerate is resisted. I do not see myself getting out of this matchup, given how spammy this thing is going to be. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go down here. And I remember they make a catch 2 coming up here soon. So I did like okay with this team. I definitely had the 3 losses, maybe 5 wins, 3 losses. And again, when I do these beyond the hypes, I don't really care about win-loss. I'm really just trying to feel out the Pokemon. I think in logic it makes sense. You are double weak to Bellibolt in the back, so depending on how often you are seeing this Pokemon now, just be aware of that. But yeah, I think that Parabolic Charge is going to get nerfed. I think that it's going to go down to somewhere between 50 and 67% chance of buffing your defense. There's no way they're going to keep this at 100%. It is too overpowering for 100% for a move that strong. For a move that does 70 damage in itself to boost your defense at the same time is too much. Like I didn't even look at these other 45. So I was looking at the other. Oh, look at these other 45 for 70 moves. I didn't even look at the moves that are 45 energy with less damage that are below. Trailblaze, Rock Slide, Sea Bomb, Icy Wind, Lunge, Mystical Fire, Sandsear Storm. These are some Triple Axle, Wrap, Ancient Power, Silver Winds, Shadow Sneak. So some of these are just bad moves. Bulldoze, Ominous Wind too. So lots of, but even there's like some 40 for 60 moves. All the punches, Mud Bombs. So you have better damage per energy. You have better damage per energy than all those moves, plus the chance, plus boosting your defense. It's too much. It's too much. And, you know, what makes it easy to nerf is the fact that Parabolic Charge is only on 3 Pokemon. Dedenne, Bellibolt, Heliolisk. And that is very easy, and this is why it's been easier in the past to nerf certain Pokemon as opposed to others, which they kind of held off as long as they could. So, for those of you who do not know the history of GBL, Walrein got nerfed with Icicle Spear because Walrein was basically OP. It was on every single team, 90% used in the Play Pokemon Championships. Like Walrein was so strong, and then Icicle Spear was the only Pokemon that had it, so they were able to just tackle that directly. Whereas opposed to stuff like, Zap Cannon on Registeel, they slowly attacked it. There's other Pokemon that had it, so they slowly attacked it and lowered the 100% chance of lowering the attack down to like 67 to down to, what is it now, like 50 or less? 33%. So Zap Cannon was 100% chance of lowering your opponent's attack, and then Registeel was just too overpowered because of it, so they lowered it to, I think, 67 the first time, and now it's down to 33% chance of lowering your attack. And same thing, like other Pokemon, I kind of already talked about the history of like nerfing Counter was a direct attack at Medi. Nerfing Wing Attack was, I think nerfing Sky Attack, I'm getting confused a bit here with the Noctowl, but they went after Noctowl because Noctowl was like beating Galarian Stunfisk. So they went after Noctowl by, I think, nerfing Sky Attack first, and then they nerfed Wing Attack and took out all the Wing Attack users. So when you make like, it's a lot easier to nerf a specific move when it only affects a couple Pokemon, whereas they have been more hesitant in the past to nerf a specific move when there has been crazy effects on other Pokemon. So because this thing is only used by 3 Pokemon, I think it's an easy nerf to just don't lower the attack as much. Sorry, just don't give the guarantee lower defense. Make that like a 67-50% chance of happening. Otherwise, you need ground. You need ground Pokemon to do it, which is why you can also just like offset with like maybe Bug too. If you're worried about ground Pokemon coming after Bellibolt and not having a charge move for it, you could come after, like, instead of for Alligator, use like a Lysopod. That's an option as a safe swap to help you out more with ground. Have like a water Bug Pokemon as opposed to just water. So here we are throwing the resisted move and a Gastrodon on the back. That is the top left. Yep. Ground's tough. Ground is tough with this Pokemon. Just be sure you have a Pokemon to build with it to beat ground. Otherwise, boost and enjoy, because it is a very, very difficult Pokemon to beat when this thing is 2 to 3 times boosted. Anyways, that is it. I'm not going to lie. This is my first video. This is my first team I played. And then I looked at my views on the top Ultra League teams and top Fossil Cup teams and saw how my top Fossil Cup team had like 2 times more views in like half the time of the Ultra League. So it's either this was going up my second video on Wednesday, or I'm going to just try and shoot 3 videos tonight and just have 2 Fossil Cups and then just keep pushing this back while people want Fossil Cup. So we'll see. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.